I'm Robert.
And I'm David.
We're the Severin brothers, and this is Trust No One, Drink Everything.
This is a channel where we like to talk about conspiracy theories that I bring that this guy has no idea what I'm bringing today.
And I bring the beers. Typically, the beers are something he's normally not into, because he normally doesn't drink beer.
Nope.
So I try and get a little bit of taste of something that he may actually like. Get him outside of his shell.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice. But today, we got a banger. We're talking about the flat earth.
Flat earth.
But first, let's get to that pour. Oh, the pop.
Always the pop.
Looks like a light one.
Well, you can definitely tell there's some haze to it.
Haze.
Definitely got some haze to that sucker. Alright, so today, guys, we're going to be drinking a beer that comes straight out of Chicago, Illinois. It's from a brewery called Hop Butcher. The name of this beer, this beast, is going to be called Green Moss. It's a Citra and Mosaic DIPA. And if you're not familiar with what DIPA is, it means a double IPA. This thing comes in at a 7.5% alcohol, little brother.
This guy's always trying to get me drunk.
Well, this one's kind of a light one for me, I'll be realistic.
It's a light?
For me, it's a little lighter.
It's got a smell to it, I can tell you that. Cheers. So let's get right into it.
All right, hit me.
Flat Earth. Flat Earth. So the first thing I want to bring up was what's the reason? Why is this even a thing, right? That'd be the first thing. Why is Flat Earth a thing? So belief in Flat Earth persists primarily due to a general mistrust of institutions, scientists, and the media, and basically influence from social media and algorithms to create an echo chamber in the sense of community for purpose, basically for purpose for people that want to complain about something. That's why they say this exists.
So you're saying, so the people are just making it up, so just to give something to talk about. That's to say if it actually was true. But you got to imagine maps and things along the lines of like...
I'm going to get to that. I just wanted to let you know that's why they think it exists right now. They think it exists mainly because mistrust of institutions, scientists, media. Basically, everybody's saying that they just want to teach us what they want to teach us, and we just got to like it. So this is pushback to the man.
To the man.
Okay, so but here's some funny facts for you. Many ancient cultures, including the Mesopotamian, the Egyptians, India, and China, basically all believed in the flat Earth. They all thought the Earth was flat. All of them. So like anything they find in old texts and everything, or anything that was older, they all thought the Earth was flat back in the day. All of them.
Prove that it's not.
I'm just saying. However, the idea basically of the spherical Earth appeared in ancient Greek, philosophy. So basically, the Pythagoras and Aristotle, like those times, that is when the theory of a spherical Earth came into play during those times. Otherwise,
I like how you use the term spherical.
Spherical. Well, they say it's okay. So that if it's
not actually round,
if it's
not mind you, this is saying that this is just saying that if it's not flat Earth and this is spherical. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like I said, they say it's flatter by the poles. Like a flat buzz top, you know what I'm saying? Like like people like Guile from Street Fighter. Guile from Street Fighter.
I get you. I was just when you were going flat by the poles. My mind kind of floated for a moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's say the Earth is flat. Okay, let's just say it is.
All right.
Here are the models in which that the flat earthers abide by. Here you go, guys. If I get one of these wrong, let me know in the comments. Disc shaped. The Earth is a flat disc with the North Pole at the center. So that's the first theory. So basically, you ever seen the map of the United Nations?
Yeah.
The map of the United Nations where it's laid out as a flat Earth, and so they think that's actually like the map of the Earth, and there's an ice wall that surrounds us. That's the theory. What do you think about that one?
Well, you're taking it in there. Typically, in my mind, when you float with these, like, might as well be doing Game of Thrones, and we have the Great Wall. What is that? The wall in Game of Thrones?
Wall of ice. Yeah, I can't remember. It would be like that. Yes, it's like the wall. I think they just call it the wall. Instead of going to the wall.
Going to the wall.
I'm going to the wall to protect from the ice zombies.
Yeah,
that's what they do.
Oh, I'm with you on this. I get you.
So are you saying that we need to send all the people in prisons to the ice wall to defend us from the edge?
No, that is not what I'm saying. Not even close, bub. I'm going to pull one of those buds in there.
Okay, Logan. Okay, so there's an ice wall. The second part of the Earth model. So it's like the map of the UN. North Pole's in the center. There's an ice wall around us. So let's talk about the sun and the moon. So how does that work on a flat Earth model? So on a flat Earth model, the sun and the moon are kind of like, think of it like a desk lamp, and they just rotate around the plane, and they're a lot closer than we're told to be. So they're saying that those are really close to us, and they float around. Like almost like, so they're baking us. You ever have like a lizard, and you see like the lizard lamplight that heats you? It's like that. It just kind of scrolls around.
Well, then answer this then. Then how does the sun and the moon black out if it circles around us? How do you still have the night and day then?
Because, okay, so if I took a desk lamp on this desk and I had it held over here, it'd be dark over there. So if I had a light here, it was close enough, you wouldn't be getting light over there.
But if it's in the sky, there's no way. It doesn't matter how far away it is.
Well, yeah, because if it's, not millions, but if it's
you'd
thousands
still
and
get
thousands
light.
of miles away.
You technically still get light. I mean,
Okay, well, hold on. Then if that was true, then if you're driving, say, into Pittsburgh,
okay,
you don't see the lights from the city till you get close enough.
you can see it from a distance.
Yeah, but only so far. After so far past that, you can't see those
But
lights
that's
anymore.
from the ground. I'm talking because the sun and the moon are supposed to be in the sky.
Okay.
Something coming
okay.
from the
All right.
ground.
Wait. Hold on. A plane that's in the sky has this flashing light that's going across the sky as you see it, and it will disappear over the horizon, and then you can't see that plane anymore.
Horizon, thus meaning if the curvature, if there was actually curvature.
No, horizon. Okay, we're going to get to that. There's something I found about that too. So hold on.
That's what
so
I'm saying.
but the
You're trying to
horizon
make
line
points.
is flat.
Okay, we're buying
The horizon line is flat.
I'm
It
buying
is.
in. I'm
It
buying
is.
in.
You tell me it's not. I'm saying with your eyes, is it flat or not? I don't know. Okay, so hold on. The other theory is the absence of gravity.
Okay.
So if we're on a flat Earth, how does gravity work? That's the big one. So bear with me on this one. Basically, it's an illusion of a misexplained force, sometimes proposing that the disk is constantly accelerating upwards to simulate gravity. So maybe we're just... They're not saying there's no outer space, I guess, on flat Earth. I don't know how that works. But anyways, they're saying this disk is continuously moving in one direction. So that's why we're actually pushed all against the bottom of it.
So it's forcing
It's
us
kind of
to
like
keeping us down.
it's kind of like if you're on an elevator, you can still
Centrifugal
jump.
force.
Yeah. So they're saying the force is pushing up. So we're always getting pushed up. That's why we're all there.
It's centrifugal force.
Versus
It's just moving,
us spinning.
but it's just
and
moving
being held
slow
to-
enough to keep us where you can still jump, move, and it's not like some sort of hard gravity. I get you. It's pushing down to
But
keep
that's-
itself in. Yeah.
That's what they say. That's the theory of flat Earth and how the model would work.
The theory. Okay.
Okay. So, bear with me on these ones. You ready? Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
The evidence of flat Earth.
Okay.
What kind of evidence do you have? What kind of evidence is there?
Truthfully, this is going to be funny you say this, because I remember the first time I had this conversation was you and Paul. And you and Paul were kind of giving me some crap on this, trying to explain to get me completely believe into this. So then I had to start searching into this stuff about this whole flat Earth. So I'm going to be realistic on this.
All right. So I got the biggest theories of proof that I could find on flat Earth. Like if you're a true flat earther, these are your talking points, in my opinion, from what I've seen. So I'm going to give you the talking points on their proof that it's flat.
So the only one that I have to throw out there,
Okay, let's hear it.
bring in, was somebody was explaining to me, which I was like, okay, like, you know, you have the North and South Pole, right?
Yep.
And supposedly you're not allowed to fly over the North Pole or the South Pole. So
No, from my understanding, you can go over the North Pole. You can't fly over Antarctica. You can't fly over the South Pole. The North Pole, you're allowed to, but it's a lot smaller. Antarctica is a lot bigger, and there's like military bases or aliens or whatever. They don't let you fly over it. Correct? Yes.
Okay.
But the North Pole you can fly over. The South Pole you can't.
Well, essentially, wouldn't that make it clear then? Well, never. I tell you what, then my theory would be off on that. If you're actually allowed to fly over the North Pole, because I assumed you couldn't fly this way, but you could fly this way.
Because if it's a sphere, you could fly across the North Pole. The South Pole's completely surrounded us. That's why you're not allowed to fly over it. So it would be North Pole would be in the center. That's why you're allowed to fly over it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still, it kind of takes away from my theory on not being able to go this way. But you can go this way.
Oh, well, no. Okay, so...
Are you catching me here?
I get you. So the other theory about that one I've heard was, you know, so if you're flying in a straight line, are you constantly turning left?
Oh, so it's a NASCAR race.
You get what I'm saying? Like, so if we're on a
500 left-hand turns.
So hold on. Here's my favorite part. So because it goes both ways. So if you're a flat earther, does the plane constantly have to veer to the left? So as you're going around the globe, around the flat Earth. But then again, if you're a glober, if you were flying in a straight line when you fly off the Earth, do you have to constantly pitch deck down? so if you're flying in a straight line, do you just fly off?
Okay, so get this then. Then how does the compass work then?
So that's a good point. So here's
so if a compass, mind you, if you were flying, it kept telling you turn. If there was some sort of direction that made a flight path, so it kind of kept flying to the north.
Yeah. So in my head, it would be easier to explain a compass to me if the Earth was flat, because then if there's like this huge thing that the compass is drawn to in the center of this big plane, then no matter which way you go, that's always north.
Yeah.
So that makes sense in my head.
Yes.
So, but on a globe, I don't know how that works. I think it's the discharge, kind of like a battery. So think of it as positive and negative. So there's a positive discharge at the North Pole or whatever, I guess, and so the battery is always going to point up around the sphere because that's where the discharge, or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's something like that, I think. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So kind of like, you ever see like an electromagnetic sphere? It's like that. It's like that rounded thing. So if this is the globe, then it's like around, positive going to the negative on the bottom.
Well, hypothetically, then what if you put it this way, and it was flat Earth, and the North Pole is technically the center.
Correct. That's the theory.
So now that ice wall you're talking around that surrounds everything else is Antarctica, or technically the South Pole.
Correct. The wall from Game of Thrones.
Yes. The wall from. Okay, so we're on the same page here. Okay.
Yes. That is the
100% way we're explaining that this is how that's working.
That's the model of the flat Earth. That's it right there. Yep.
Dude, I'm gonna make a new risk board that's gonna put this in here.
I like
We're
it.
a premise of a new a video game for this.
Patent pending.
Patent pending.
So, all right. So again, what I did was I went and got the best proof of evidence that people would always talk to. So if you go talk to a true flat earther, these are their talking points. And not only because I'm equal, I flip the coin. I go both ways when it comes to talking about a theory. I like to talk about the devil's advocate here. So not only did I get the best talking points I could find, I also grabbed the best scientific evidence there is to disprove what that talking point is. So we could see if we like them both.
Okay.
Does that make sense? You follow me on this?
Yep. I'm
okay.
hearing you.
So, first one. Water is always flat and level. So, water's always flat. If we're on a sphere, how does that water curve? Water doesn't curve. Water doesn't bend. If we're on a sphere, how does that happen? Flat Earth theory is we have to be flat because water always finds level. Make sense?
If you're following physics, yes.
In a way, yeah. So here's the scientific explanation on how that happens. Okay? They say level is not the same as flat. Water seeks the lowest gravitational potential, which results in a curved surface conforming to Earth's gravity. And the reason we don't see it, of course, is because the horizon line's so big, and it's such a small curvature that you don't even notice it.
But that's the
thought.
because it's
hands off my glass.
I'm explaining.
Yours. You got one right there.
Well, I'm explaining something that like it is true though, because it goes to the lowest point. So actually, if you're putting that sideways, it's still following itself to it. So it's the lowest point. So the curvature at the bottom of the glass, not the top of the glass.
So both of these ideas make sense in my head. They both do. I think that yes, water always finds level, but it's saying lowest gravitational potential.
Potential.
So meaning that it can dip over a long curvature, like across the Pacific Ocean. It's going to slowly, gradually conform to the lowest gravitational spot because it's curved. That's the scientific explanation. I don't know about that one. I get it. Somebody's got to show me an experiment how that works, because I've never seen. I'm a true believer of you believe what you see with your own eyes, and so I have never seen water curve like that. So I don't know how that works. If somebody could tell me an experiment to prove this, then I'm all about you. I'm all about you, Globers.
A hose. The curvature of spraying water out of a hose curves, doesn't
but
it?
I'm saying water in a container, I want to see it curve. How do you prove that the water can curve as it's sitting in a container? The fountain's not going to curve. That's because you're using propulsion to shoot that water, and thus it's trying to get back down.
And gravity's still pulling it. So technically, there is gravity pushing
we're on
up.
a plane completely pushing up, so it's shooting out, and then it's getting pushed back down.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. All right. We'll go one more before we get our next drink here.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to go one more here.
All right.
Distant objects can be seen with powerful cameras. Okay, I remember seeing because we grew up in Michigan. Okay, so we grew up in Michigan. I remember seeing an experiment about this. So I can't remember what the curvature of the Earth is. I just know it dips so many inches over so many miles and so on and so forth. I don't know what that is. But regardless,
I wouldn't. I burned a lot of brain cells back then.
Yes,
So.
I'm sure you did. I was around. I seen it.
Fair enough.
So from my understanding is so you've got curvature that drops over so much distance, and that's how they measure the curvature of the Earth. So if whatever the algorithm is to figure out the curvature, the thought process goes, if you're standing on Lake Michigan on Michigan side, Lake Michigan is large enough that you should not be able to see Chicago, because the curvature would dip behind the horizon line. So even if I took like a powerful telescope, I should not be able to see Chicago because.
You mean Hop Butcher? This beer is from Chicago.
Oh.
So.
What a plug. Anyway, so
throw that out there.
So if you're standing on Lake Michigan side and you try to see the brewery, you should not be able to see it.
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right.
But there's an experiment where they take a camera and they zoom in and they see the Chicago skyline.
The world is a mystery, David. The world is a mystery. And I don't know. The more we've been going into space, it's almost like, now mind you, the whole moon thing is a whole other story. But making it into space, yes, I believe we've been up there. That's one of my beliefs in there. So obviously you can see some sort of curvature to it.
But there's very smart people that are smarter than us named, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. And from my understanding, Elon Musk said that we can't reach Earth's lower lunar orbit. Like, we can't get out of the lower lunar orbit. So
that's that one I talked
I'm
about.
just saying.
Like, that's about the whole moon landing thing. That we got, obviously, you can look up there. We got all kinds of, satellites in orbit. So, obviously, we've made it up there. So, we've made it physically into space. You look at
lower
orbits.
Earth orbit.
Yep, correct. That's why I said it's made it into orbit. So, technically, we've made it off the physical planet, right?
Yeah.
Essentially. So with all that space junk floating around and our satellites that are up there,
that's a good point. Wait, hold on. You just hit something on the head there. If satellites were floating above us, and flat earthers are right, and we're continuously going this way, wouldn't they just crash to us?
Essentially, yes.
So they wouldn't be able to do that.
Correct.
Ooh, it just clicked in my head. I just thought about that. If we are proportionally going up, satellites wouldn't be able to stay there.
Correct.
Got it. Unless they got like some type of unless there's a firmament and they got strings hanging from the firmament, and that's how they do it.
We're really pushing that one.
So I'm just saying there could be strings hanging from the firmament that are holding satellites in the sky.
You are really pushing that one. On that note.
So, but here's the deal. Hold on, wait. I gotta. So with the cameras zooming in to see Chicago from the Michigan side,
all right.
The scientific explanation is atmospheric refraction bends light, especially when it's over water, allowing distant objects to sometimes be seen for longer than they should be expected to be. Boom. Refraction from the water.
Wait, I don't think I did that one right.
If that actually happened, would anything come out?
Water.
All right. Well, I got a bunch more to talk about, but first, you know what this means? We're almost done with these ones. What comes next?
Let's get to that next pour. Another fresh pop. Oh, you can even smell it. It smells dark.
Oh, buddy. This one looks definitely like chocolate.
Oh, she's definitely dark. She's definitely dark. All right, kiddies. This next beer here is Rocky Mountain Boris. This comes from Hoppin Frog out of Akron, Ohio. To be honest, it's a stout. It's barrel-aged with, I'm guessing it's going to be close to Rocky Road notes into it. So I was reading on it. This thing comes in at a beastly 9.4 on it.
Rocky Road.
Well, cheers on this one.
Ooh, smells strong.
So, what do you got next for me?
All right. So, the next one. So, the next one in the theory of proving the Earth is flat is laser beams travel in a straight line. So they did an experiment again over water, where they would take a laser beam and they'd shoot a super powerful laser beam across like a huge lake, because of course that's really the only spot you can go with super long distances over water. So they were going across the lake from one side to the other, but it's like a really, really, really big lake, like Lake Michigan or something else like that.
All right.
And what they could do is they would measure the height of where the laser beam was at, and then they'd measure the height of where it hit a wall or whatever on the other side. So then again, if you use the equation to find out how much dip there should be on a spherical Earth, that laser beam should be higher on the, it should be higher because the way the curve is. Does that make sense? From beach to beach.
Because
and they do it on the beach. Hold on.
There's no gravity to the lasers.
Correct. And since they're doing it on a beach, it's not like one's higher than the other because the water's level. So it's right at the water, so they can measure it at the height of the water. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's not like they're on a building or something like that. No.
Fair enough.
So it's a big thing they set up on the beach, and they go to the other side of the beach, and they shoot a laser. So you should see a couple inches of curvature because the distance of how far it shot across the lake. Make sense?
100%.
So if they did
up
that,
what you're laying down.
sniffing when I'm plopping.
Yep.
So apparently it was on the laser on the board wasn't high enough. It was higher than what the curvature says it should have been. So meaning that if there was curvature, or I said that backwards, it was lower. Yeah. So it was lower because curvature meant it should have been higher. So it was lower than what the curvature said it should be, meaning it went across the lake straight with zero curvature. Zero. So hold on. So the scientific explanation is very similar to the last one, which is laser lights bend due to atmospheric refraction and temperatures, particularly over water. So again, they're saying there's atmospheric refraction with sight and lasers.
So you're saying, in essence, you're saying that even the water, almost like being a mirror or reflection.
Correct. It refracts, kind of like like so if you shined something through certain glasses, or you look at a reflection of a spoon, it's upside down because it reflects it, like the way the lights.
Kind of like the aluminum on that can.
Yeah,
the light's coming off of it.
Correct.
I get you.
All right. So here's the next one. There's no detectable rotation
Of the physical Earth is what you're saying.
Yeah. So we're on a sphere spinning,
Supposedly.
but where's the spin? We can't detect it, or can we?
It's so slow that you can't tell.
Actually, I think it's like super fast.
Oh, actually, that's what they say. Because the spin is the gravitational pull that keeps us at the Earth.
No.
Isn't that right?
No, the gravitational is because it's a larger object subtracts smaller objects, so it's harder for us to get away. So the closer,
Well, I thought
it's
that's
not
what
the spin.
was.
No, it's
like,
not the
keeps us
spin.
there, like when you're on
Well,
the Gravitron
okay,
ride.
how does that even make
like the Gravitron,
But that doesn't
right?
make sense.
Spinning.
It doesn't make sense. If the spin did that, we'd fly off. Like you
No,
can't.
no. Well, if the atmosphere technically, this is like a two-side too, because if the actual atmosphere is there and we can't go past it and it holds us too, right? So if we're inside sort of imaginary bubble and it's spinning, it would kind of keep us here because it's force pushing off back down.
We are not a couple bubble boys.
Oh, we're bubble boys.
No, we're not bubble boys.
We're gonna Jake Gyllenhaal this right
Listen,
now.
I'm just saying, it's not the spin that keeps us on Earth. For the gravity is a larger mass attracts the smaller masses.
Okay.
Is how that works. That's how. Think of it this way. Space is a void, right? There's nothing. There's no gravity. There's a vacuum. There's nothing.
Nothing.
So then, the sun is so big that's why we don't fly off into space, because it's a bigger mass and it holds us in orbit. Just like we're bigger than the moon, so we hold the moon where it's at and it spins around us. Same thing. Now we're on the surface. We're so big that we're on it. We're not there because we're spinning. We're there because it's a larger mass object.
All right, I get you.
Does that make sense? Okay, so regardless, no
Okay.
detectable rotation.
Okay.
If we were on a sphere, we'd be rotating. How do we detect that? How does that happen? Right? How does it happen? I don't know. Well, I did look up something.
Okay, hit me.
All right. According to a documentary called Beyond the Curve, participants spent $20,000 on research-grade laser gyroscopes, which basically proceeded to detect a 15-degree per hour drift to detect the rotation of the Earth. So they spent $20,000 to find out that we are drifting 15 degrees per hour. So we actually
I'm more impressed that they spent $20,000 on this.
I know, right? They were like, "Let's get this done. We're gonna prove." Well, actually, I think it's in that documentary Beyond the Curve. I'm gonna plug it again, so if you guys want to watch it, it's called Beyond the Curve. Apparently, that documentary is to prove the Earth was flat. So they were spending all this money to prove it was flat. That's my understanding. I didn't watch the documentary. Sorry, guys.
So it's almost like they're debunking themselves and found more
Correct.
proof that it's
So
curvature.
they
than being
tried to
flat.
detect it was flat, and then they, at the end, from my understanding, after they found out that there is this like degree difference, they said it was faulty equipment.
Anything to keep
They
them
said it
rolling,
was faulty.
I might have to use one of those terms from that kid from the GIF. Bullshit. So,
Did you just do that?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Even
All
though
right.
it wasn't bad.
So the next one here, before I go into some scientific evidence of the Earth being a sphere.
Okay.
So I just tried to use some scientific evidence along the way to disprove some of these things. And again, those are the biggest talking points that I know of that I can find that the Earth's flat. So here's the last one. Photos and videos from space, flat earthers say, are all hoaxes.
I had that conversation with you too. That like they said, no, not a single satellite photo of the Earth is real. That like, I now just to get into his mind on here. So I've had people tell me and like looking up into it that there's no actual real photo of the Earth. First of all, saying that we've never made it far enough out into space to get a full picture. two, like whenever you look at a lot of the photos of the Earth, you'll notice that like the continents, they're never the same size. Everything is out in different proportions, size. So stating that you cannot find one single real photo of space, like legit photo.
So from my understanding, if you go to NASA's website, they state that they're all like basically photoshopped pictures of the Earth because one camera can't capture a still image because it's not far enough away.
Correct.
So they piece it together. Well, but that's not saying that it's not photos from space. They're just editing the photos from space.
That's all I'm saying. It's like I've been preaching that for some years now. That none of the photos. So there's no true real photo of the actual planet Earth.
No, there's not.
And we'll use in its entirety. So if there actually is some photos from there to see some curvature, but an actual real photo of its entirety.
So, okay, hold on. Hold your britches.
Okay.
You holding them? I see a hand up there.
Tight,
there you go. Tighten up. Tighten up. About to fly out the seat of your pants. All right, here we go. The flaw. Thousands of amateur hobbyists have launched weather balloons with cameras that can clearly show the curvature of the Earth, the existence of time zones, GPS systems, global flight paths, all rely on the mathematical model of a spherical Earth.
Is that really another mind blowing?
Pop the top off this one.
All right.
Pop the top.
So you're going to go by these enthusiasts that have put up weather balloons or these.
All right. So here's.
So you're going to believe everything that they put up into the sky, right?
Here's the two things I didn't talk about that I just know off the top of my head that are just coming to me when I've gone off and gone down this rabbit hole before.
Okay.
So here's the two things I wonder and make me thinking about. They get me thinking about whether or not the Earth is flat or not. Okay? Because again, I mean, let's face it, all of us, every one of us, is brought up, taught that the Earth is flat. And not the Earth is flat, the Earth's a globe.
What textbook were you reading?
What was the percentage of this one? So we're brought up, taught that the Earth is a sphere. But as I said earlier, thousands of years ago, they were all brought up, taught that it was flat. So they were wrong until science got to a certain thing, and then proved it was a sphere, and now we all believe it's a sphere. But what if that's not true? I'm just saying, what if that's not true? So there's two things I always think about when I think about flat Earth is this. Number one, if we're on a ball and we're spinning. And that ball is spinning around another ball. Mm-hmm. And then all these spheres, all these spheres are hurtling through the galaxy. Why do we see the same stars every night? I never understood this. So the Mayans and everybody, they plotted out all the stars in the solar system a long time ago. And those same stars are still in the same spots from that long ago. So if that's true, and we're spinning and we're doing all these things, how come the same stars in the sky every night that were there from thousands of years ago? That's the one I don't understand.
They were painted. God was playing marbles, opened up a bag, dumped them. They fell onto the floor, and that's where he painted them. So the
Men in Black. Men in Black did that.
No. It was the belt of Orion. Remember Orion's belt? It was the was it Cat? Cat had the entire galaxy.
And no, they were playing marbles with the
yes,
galaxy.
That's
they zoomed
right.
out. They were playing marbles
with the marble because it was inside the. Yeah, I was about to say Men in Black.
I think that was that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's part one. I don't understand that one.
Okay.
Maybe somebody in the comments can make that make sense to me. Okay, so that's part one.
All right, part two.
The part two is this.
Part two.
The part deuce, not Hot Shots part. So, although this is talking about flying, anyways.
Okay.
So there was another experiment done by some college kids. I think it's MIT. Where they wanted to shoot a rocket into space. And so this is documented. You can look this up on online and stuff. But they shot a rocket up and had cameras and all like altitude meters and all sorts of stuff on it, and it flew. A little rocket spinning, and it gets to a specific height, and it hits something, and then it falls back to Earth.
I seen that.
Okay, so then hold on.
Actually, I remember watching the actual video on that too.
Yeah, so
they have physical video footage.
It like hit something, and then it fell back to. But the crazy part is, they went to the exact same spot, exact same rocket, got another rocket, got all the stuff, and they shot a second one. And the second one at the exact same height
that was
hit something and fell. So 2 times.
That was at Yellowstone Ranch, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I think it was
not the TV show, although that's a good TV show.
Well, it's kind of based, but the real Yellowstone Ranch. Yes.
So, but I'm just saying, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
2 things. So is that a firmament? I don't know.
Because that's where they have the lot of UFO sightings there too, though. Because they were believing.
What if
too,
they poked a hole?
Now, mind you,
they all get radiation poison now because they poked a hole in the firmament.
So they have that huge thing there because I do remember because I've watched stuff onto that too. So that goes into what you're talking about where it hits something. So not saying that's the top of the flat Earth part, but that one goes into our whole friends from other planets.
Friends from other realms. Yeah, maybe it was an invisible
like Yellowstone.
spaceship. What if it was an invisible spaceship, bro?
That's what it was supposed.
Whoa.
That's what they were saying. That's why I'm not like going off of this, but what you're talking about for that footage where they fired the rocket, that was over at Yellowstone.
I just dipped my toe in that.
Or is it Skinwalker Ranch or Yellowstone?
Skinwalker Ranch.
Whatever it is, it's like
Wait, they fired off at Skinwalker Ranch?
It's one of those ranches, all right? They were trying to where there's a huge sighting of UFOs there. So there was a guy that spent a bunch of money, did a whole bunch of experiments, but these guys fired the rockets there, and they literally were hitting something. Okay. So that one, I'm right there with you, but I remember watching that one.
All right. Well, let's go down. I'm going to go down these real quick for us.
Okay.
This is the scientific evidence of a spherical Earth. In the bullet points for you. Here we go. Let's see. Lunar eclipses. Lunar eclipse. The shadow Earth casts on the moon during a lunar eclipse is always circular, regardless of Earth's orientation, which is only possible if Earth was a sphere. So we cast a shadow on the moon. If we we're flat, it wouldn't happen like that. It'd look like a pencil if we were sideways.
But no. Actually, this would be like making shadow puppets. So there is a giant out there that's probably certain times of the year when we actually have that, and they're like, oh, this is supposed to happen. Okay. Somebody's out there holding like an orange, and they're shifting it from.
Okay. Varying star patterns. Constellations of North Star Polaris appear at different heights in the sky depending on one's latitude. So Polaris, the North Star, will be at different heights. So because of that, it's different heights, thus meaning sphere. If we were all on a plane, like a flat surface, we'd all be at the same height.
Okay.
Make sense?
I'm picking you up.
Okay. Next one, gravity. The universal law of gravity dictates that large celestial, that's the word I'm looking for, celestial bodies naturally form spheres because gravity pulls mass toward a center point. That's how it works. So anything that has massive mass always pulls it towards the center, so it's not going to pull it flat, it's going to pull it to the center. That's how it works.
I'm stepping in what you're pooping. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And then the last one we already touched on. Direct observations of satellites, GPS navigation, high-altitude weather balloons provide continuous direction, visual, functional evidence of a spherical Earth. Because, again, if we were just flying this way, we would just crash all those satellites to the ground. And that's how that would work.
Just mash.
They'd go clink, clink,
clunk, fall down.
Clink, clunk.
That's our space junk, right?
Yep, space junk, 2020.
Space junk.
All right, so that's the flat Earth for you guys. So with that being said, let's go to the first drink. What was our first drink we had there?
That was the green moss from Hot Butcher.
Green moss. Mm-hmm. I could tell you it didn't taste like green moss.
It did not.
Nor did it smell like green moss.
Well, to be honest, I don't believe I've ever tried green moss, in legit. I may have licked it once or twice when I was a kid and just not realized it.
Did you hallucinate?
Come on, dude. We swam in a pond for some pond scum. Yeah. So we may have licked some green moss and not even realized it.
Yeah. So what did you think of it?
To be honest, I enjoyed it thoroughly. To be honest, for a DIPA, a double IPA at a 7.4, it was very good to me. On my
What do you give it on the trust scale?
I was about to say, if you're gonna go on that trust scale, because our trust scale goes up to 10.
Yes.
Our trust scale on there, I'm probably about a 7.5 and 8.
7.5 to an 8
on the trust scale. Yep.
What is it?
Right in between. We're going to go 7.75.
7.75. That's shenanigans up in this piece.
Couldn't give it a full. Okay. It's right in there. It's
Couldn't
pushing tight. And yourself?
I would say, again, I'm not a big hoppy person. Not a hoppy guy. I'm a happy guy,
but
not a hoppy guy.
It was tasty. You got to admit, that was good.
It was okay. Okay enough that I'm going to put it at about a 5.5 for me.
Okay,
it's about 5.5.
So you at least gave it a 5 on there.
I'll go up a little bit higher than a 5. Not quite a 6.
All right, so on that note, on the second one, wait. Yeah, we're going to stick with that. You're going to go with that 5. Okay, so on this Hoppin Frog here, and I want your opinion first. So how about you give me your
my
trust?
opinion, my trust scale on the Hoppin, was it Hoppin Frog?
Hoppin Frog, yeah.
Hoppin Frog.
And this is the Rocky Mountain Boris.
That's right.
Barrel aged stout.
Rocky Road.
Rocky Road.
I would say, okay, so this one to me is a little bit smoother, but it's still not my cup of tea. So now just getting another taste of it. I'd say I'd put this one, if that one was a 5.5, I'd put this one just a hair above it at a 6.
At a 6.
I'd give this one a 6. I'd even sniff at a 6.5. I don't use those 0.25 garbage. That's not cool. So I know someone does.
Can't use them quarters, huh?
No quarters. So, but I would probably keep it at a 6. It's a 6 for me.
Yeah. 6. Well, myself, it's thick, just the way I like it. You can laugh all you want, man, but a stout should be thick, all right? At least in my eyes, all right? Being barrel aged, and it doesn't really tell you what barrel it was in. It just says whiskey, so it could have been any whiskey barrel on it. But for the percentage of it, at a 9.4, doesn't even hit a 10. It's solid. I'm gonna give it a 7. Hoppin Frog is typically on there, but I'm gonna give it a 7.
7. Ba-ding. All right.
Really, I got a ba-ding in there.
All right. So that's the beers. Okay, so now let's get to this flat Earth. Do you want me to go first? Or do you want to go first?
I'll let you go first. I'll let you take a sniff on this one first.
I'll sniff the flat Earth theory.
All right.
All right. So, again, I'm a believer in what my eyes can see. I'm not a just go along with the masses. Mm-hmm. So for me, on the trust scale, I'd probably put the flat Earth theory for me is probably I would believe in flat Earth. I'm about a 20%. I'm about 20%
out of 100.
Out of 100, I'm about 20% fact that the Earth could be flat. So I'm 1/5. I'm a 20.
I'm going to go lower than you. I'm going to give it about a 10. So I'm going to give you a tenth.
A tenth of a percent.
Yeah.
So you're at a 10 out of 100 on whether or not the Earth could be flat.
A 10. There's just, even though when you guys originally tried preaching that shit to me, you and Paul were pushing for this whole trying to get me to believe in it.
Again,
and that made me seriously started looking. And then I found some stuff where I was like, all right, this could be true. This literally could be true. That's why there's that little part of me that says all right, it is possible this could be true.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. I think that the masses will probably love or hate us. I think that's going to be happening here. So let me know what you think, and whether or not you think the Earth could be flat or not. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts.
Yeah,
so
put them down in those comments, y'all.
In the comments, bro. But with that being said, until next time.
I'm Robert.
And I'm David.
We're the Severin brothers, and you've been watching Trust No One, Drink Everything.
Drink it all.
Hey guys, you've been watching our show for a minute here. We hope that you actually like it.
Like it.
Actually, yeah, because there's a like button somewhere.
Button.
Make a message for us, too.
Messages.
Let us know if we suck or we're good.
He sucks.
Or if you just have questions or want to correct us on maybe something we said.
I suck.
Whether it be beer or he actually does suck, which is probably more than likely true.
Comment, subscribe.